we begin. BGP, Border Gateway Protocol. The name itself explains that this is a protocol that is recommended to be preferred in the borders. Border of what? Border of an autonomous system. So within an organization, we do run OSPF as a routing protocol, but when you compare OSPF and BGP, we give more importance to OSPF if it comes to inside network. But when it comes to outside network, we give more preference to BGP. Because OSPF brings the routes from various parts of your own network, brings the route information, gives the route information for destination that belong to your own company, your own autonomous system. Whereas BGP brings the route information of those networks that are outside our autonomous system. So between the borders, we always see BGP is preferred. Because it is the BGP, the one which brings the external network. Now, when a company, a big company, takes internet connection, they don't just take one internet, they take more than one. Why? Because if one connection goes down, the other internet connection will provide internet service. For example, the link between A and D goes down, we still have the reachability to the customer via E. That's the idea of having more than one autonomous system. The name given to this concept is called multi-homing. Why do we need multi-homing? Reliability and performance. How reliability? Because we got more than one autonomous system, if connection to one autonomous system fails, if connection to one ISP fails, there is still another connection to another ISP, so you don't lose internet connection. Reliability is high. Performance is also improves because you can do load sharing. When we got multiple paths, you can do load sharing. So quickly you can reach those destinations because you got multiple paths. And then what we saw is whenever we have dual connection or a multi-homing connection like this, there are three ways in which you will learn the routes from other autonomous systems. Number one, you will be learning a default route. When you learn default route from two different ISPs, then how do you prefer one ISP over the other? If this is ISP1 and this is ISP2, if you want to prefer ISP1, then you can give here administrative distance 10 to this default route. And here the default administrative distance is 1. As a result, all the traffic goes this way. Only if this fails, this route will come into the routing table and this path will be preferred. So this is one style, one way of reaching the internet. How? By learning only the default route from ISPs. Second is learning partial route. From ISP X and Y router, you are not learning all the routes from the routing table. you only learn 10,000 routes. This is an example, 10,000 routes. Those are the 10,000 prefixes that you know very well as your own customer. They're your own customer, registered, subscribed customer. So you know them very well, and you want to have a precise route to reach them. For all unknown customers, you still have reachability, but via a default route. Who gives the default route? In this case, X has given a default route, the yellow line. So if your destination is this red destination, it's going to be precise route from the routing table. For unknown networks, unknown destinations, it's going to be default route via X. If this X fails, then it will go via Y. Now, what is the difference between the previous one and this one? In the previous one, you did not learn any route, you just learned the default route. So when you learn the default route, it's a tiny advertisement that you receive. So less process is consumed. But when you learn 10,000 routes, definitely there is going to be considerable bandwidth consumption here, because BGP is not going to advertise simply network. It is also going to advertise attributes to each network. Attributes to each network makes the BGP update so big, very big. But good news is you are not learning millions of routes from X and Y, you just learn 10,000 routes. Well-known routes, well-known destinations. Now the third one is learning the complete routing table from X and Y, so that you will have all route visibility and you can take the best path to reach destination. And still you can have a default route also if you want, but mostly you have all the routes because you are learning all prefixes. What is the difference between the previous one and this one? Previous one, you are selectively accepting, allowing only 10,000 routes to come in. Whereas here, you allow all route from X and Y to get inside A and B, which is going to be a huge bandwidth, process, and resource consuming idea. Right, but if you're another ISP, ISP A, ISP B, you are also another ISP. Let's say you are not an enterprises, you are another ISP. Definitely you need to know all the routes. Now we also learned what is autonomous system. Autonomous system is a collection of routers that are under single technical administration. I told you, for example, your company that you are running may have multiple routers and switches. All those routers and switches, they're working for you. They're working under your building. They are being managed and supervised, configured by your engineer. Hence, you call it as autonomous system because they're all not controlled by someone, it is controlled by your own people. Those routers work for your company, not for your neighbor company. Those routers and networks, we call it as one autonomous system. An autonomous system is a collection of networks under single technical administration. What is IGP? IGP is a protocol that works within the autonomous system. Can someone give an example for IGP? Name any 3 IGP protocols.
OSPF, AGRP,
OSPF, AGRP, RIP, ISIS. Now, BGP is the protocol that is working in between autonomous system. It doesn't mean that you cannot run BGP inside the autonomous system, but the preference is given to BGP only if it is between the autonomous system. For inside, it is IGP protocol because of the administrative distance. You know, the administrative distance of IBGP is 200. What is IBGP? BGP that is within the autonomous system is IBGP. The BGP that is between the autonomous system is EBGP. So BGP is the only protocol that works in the border. You don't have any other protocol. So you can call BGP as EGP protocol, exterior gateway protocol, or simply call it as BGP because this is the only EGP protocol that we got. See, one thing you need to understand, once upon a time there was a protocol called EGP, and it is no more in the industry. So no, you should not confuse with IGP and the protocol EGP and this EGP. There is no more protocol called EGP, but there are two categories. One is IGP and EGP. EGP protocol is BGP only. IGP protocol, these are the IGP protocols. Now, all protocol needs to provide you the guarantee of loop-free network. BGP also uses some loop-free mechanism. It uses autonomous system number. For example, if this router is advertising, it will advertise with this autonomous system. If this advertisement goes like this and tries to come back, he will not accept it. Why? Because this number is there in the update origin. So he will say, no, it got originated in my own autonomous system, so I should not learn from here. I will learn just from here. You see? So autonomous system number helps to prevent loop. But within an IBGP scenario, it is only the router ID. We also saw BGP as a path-vector routing protocol. Can someone say why it is called as path-vector routing protocol?
So see, it will work under the metrics, not work under metrics, or it will work under attributes. And it will have the clear path of.
Yeah. One of the attribute called AS path attribute, it will show you the path. See, the original, the originator is this autonomous system. From here only it is originating. It originates and gets advertised here like this, and it reached here. So on this autonomous system, on any router, if you see, it shows 520, which is this one, 6600, which is this one, and 700, which is this one. So it shows the AS path. AS path is one of the attribute. It shows the path and also the direction. It shows that it is this direction you need to go, not this direction. The direction is what word vector means. Vector means what? Direction. 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 So now, what is the difference between IGP protocol and BGP protocol? We already saw IGP works within the autonomous system. Not only that, they advertise the network that belong to your own autonomous system. When it advertises with metric. Whereas BGP, instead of metric, it advertises the attributes. Now, what is the use of the attribute? With the attributes, you can define policies, rules of how the path should go, how the packet should go, what should be the path that need to be followed in order to go to some destination, which paths to be taken, considered among many paths. So if you have many paths, which paths to be considered as the best among other is determined by policy. So using attributes, you can define policy. BGP allows administrator to define policy. What is policy? Policy is like you have your own expectation in path selection. That is what policy. To define the policy, using attribute is very easy to achieve the policy, not easy to do that using metric. That is why we use BGP in the border, because in the border you will define the direction. Now BGP is also called as hop by hop routing protocol. Usually hop means one router. In RIP, one hop, two hop means what? One router, two router, you need to jump to reach the destination. If I say 4 hops, I need to jump 4 routers to reach the destination. But when you say hop by hop in BGP, here one hop is one autonomous system. It will not care about how many routers you got. It will see which path has got less number of hops, less number of autonomous system, not the router. Sometimes it will say, I'll go via this path. But if you see here, you may have 100 router, 200 router. But here, if you go this way, you may have only 10 router, 10 routers each. But it's not going that way because one hop is not one router. One hop is one autonomous system. All right, so this is where we stopped yesterday. Any questions so far?
தமிழ்ல கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாமா சார்? கொஞ்சம் லைட்டா கஷ்டமா
So actually